Hi guys, welcome back. We're gonna take a look at one of my red stars. This is a replay of RS6 I did earlier today. It's interesting because in Red Star 6 there's a new ship introduced on top of the Colossus and the Interceptor, the Sentinels, and the Guardians. Red Star 6 introduces a planet destroyer. It's a big pain, the Cerberus Destroyer, and it has vengeance, and it will completely ruin your day if you don't plan ahead for it. I always assume it's going to go to my planet. That just seems to be the way it works. So let's go ahead and restart this and start from the beginning, because you have to move fast when it targets your planet. And if all you're out for is one planet, to get the relics off of that one, then you need to get quick and get in there and get dirty and get in and out before this destroyer just ruins you. So I looked at the planet and I saw that I could pull everything to the asteroid closest to my gate. So I take one battleship, usually with passive shield and sanctuary. EMP is my loadout, and battery. I want to do as much damage to anything in my path as possible. And the way this loadout was on my sector, it just made more sense to try to get one kill before I escape back to my gate. I wait until all enemies in the sector target the asteroid, and that's important because you don't want to leave anything left out. Sometimes there's a sentinel that hangs back, or the interceptor doesn't target you and it won't chase you to the warp gate, and that completely ruins the strategy that I use currently in Red Star 6. So because of the time crunch, I debated on having an all-out battle. I decided not to because of the sentinels that are hanging around the Colossus. There's two of them, and if you're not, you can easily miss them if you're not looking for them. I've been killed way too many times by a sentinel that's just hanging in the back that the EMP misses, and it's just better to manage your time in a different way in this setting. Each scenario in a Red Star 6 has the potential to be very complicated. This one happened to be pretty simple. So I go to the asteroid, have everything target the asteroid, then I escape back to the gate, one-on-one versus the interceptor to kill it, and then immediately head back to the home star and warp everything in. So there's all my ships. Now I'm going to use that same battleship that had its shield weakened. I'm going to send it into the asteroid. It won't die, but it'll get pretty close. Sometimes I take structure damage. Sometimes it's quite a bit. It just depends on how many enemies there are and how long it takes to get into EMP range. So the problem is I'm on a time crunch because this destroyer will destroy the planet 3 minutes after it hits. And it's does a spectacular amount of damage. I think it's something like 4,000 damage. So even if you send a battleship in to kill it, it just ruins your shields, or it can take off over half of your structure if you don't have any shields. The strategy I use once I EMP is I launch 1 to 2 rockets, and I send in one of my battleships has dual laser 4, I think, and that will clean up the rest of it. Now, the thing that I'm concerned about when I started this was the destroyer, the planet destroyer. I've got to consider how I'm going to tie the Colossus up to keep it from targeting my battleship, and I've got to get the destroyer to stop somehow. So my first move is Fortify. That's the red ring around my battleship. That changes the targeting of the Colossus from the battleship it was targeting to the battleship with fresh shields. And then what I end up doing is I take my battleship that has dual laser on it, and I did a pretty good job of eyeballing it. I time it so that I hit the Colossus and the Destroyer, but I don't stop any of my transports from getting to the planet. And you can see they all made it, and I was able to load all 4 relics immediately. And because I have a higher level battery than some RS6 players, I only need to EMP a Colossus twice to kill it. I do take some damage, but with a combination of the first EMP, then Fortify, then a second EMP, I almost never have to use any of my other mods. I do have more options to kill those, and I'll go over that when I take on an RS5. Those are not very challenging at this level with the way my mods are, but I want to show you the strategy because it works regardless of what level you are, as long as you have the correct mod layout. So after I kill the Colossus, I take my battleship with Fortify up to another asteroid and EMP the Destroyer again. And he's got 31 seconds before he blows that planet up and does an area of effect damage. So I want to get completely out of his way. Overall, the timing on all of that was good. I don't really like taking structure damage. It's kind of a point of pride in the corporation to try to avoid it. It seems like we should be able to complete these battles without taking unnecessary structure damage. But the way I was having to kill this Colossus and lock up the Destroyer, I didn't really have any options. So I got 4 relics. I killed 4 Sentinels, 2 Guardians, and a Colossus, and stopped the Destroyer from killing me, all in about 7 minutes, and then made it out of the warp gate. That's it. We'll see you next time.